Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to Tour de France 23. This is episode number 30. It's Paris-Roubaix. We are going to get our ass handed to us, without a doubt, in this race. We have no chance. What we do have a chance at, though, is getting in the early break, getting a little bit of a head start, and leading through a number of cobbled sectors to at least pick up some cobble rating. But we have no strong cobbled riders in our team. Nobody's built for classics. Therefore, there's not going to be any points scored by our team. Let's just get on with the pain and punishment, but be aggressive early on so that we do have a chance. If I can, we'll get a couple riders into the break. And here we go. First attack of the day. First attempt to get off the front. There's already close to 10 riders that have escaped at this point. We're going to follow Muscad. It looks like we're about to make contact here with the primary group. There's now 9 of us. I did get a teammate up here. And then a total now, we're looking at 12 off the front. But only 30 seconds and really just 12 seconds ahead of the peloton. 10 seconds ahead of the peloton. Not looking good on that front. I think we are going to get pulled in here in just a moment. There's 4 guys though. Okay, and we are reeled in. Van Hoek was the one who was involved in that. I'm going to give him one more attempt to attack. Field is fully back together. Cockhart's the only guy that I don't want to attack right now. He's got the best chance of doing anything in this group. Now working on the 4th attack of the day already. Our ability to attack is rather challenging. We've got 8 together this time. Still too much. I think the peloton, yeah, the peloton's riding hard. Latest attack still appears to have too many riders, so I'm gonna wait, recover a little bit this time, hope that they actually do successfully bring them back. We've brought back 2 riders. There's now 6 off the front, and they're still being chased, so 6 is too many. It looks like it's going to take 5 or less to get a breakaway to happen, so keeping an eye on that. Trying to better plan when to attack based on how things are going. Those guys are about to get reeled in, so a little trapped at the moment, otherwise I would be attacking already. That's 5 riders off the front this time. And the gap is opening. Gap is opening, which means they are willing to let 5 go. So now that we know what the magic number is, now we attack with Johannesson to save me, but to make it 6 to reel that group in. And here goes 4 or 5 others. Once they get reeled in, we'll set ourselves up. So magic number is 5. This could be an opportunity. There's still 5 off the they got back together. Damn it. The front group was split up. But, again, if we don't attack now, they're going to just let this group go. But these guys are almost toast. So getting into this group, seeing another pursuit, you can rest for a moment and then attack these guys and get off the front. Peloton's going to chase. They are going to chase. There was only 1, now 2 attacking. And they pull that back. Now there's 7 of us. Will they let this go? I doubt it. Like I said, 5 seems to be the way. But if this group is exhausted and you come in a bit fresher, a small amount of recovery is enough to then attack them. And yeah, see, now you're starting to see 4 guys go clear. All you have to do is be in the front 5. Enough. Follow the attack when it splits off. We're up to 40 seconds. This actually could happen, even with 7 of us. Peloton seems to be at that point where it's starting to lose some interest. We're going to come through and take a turn here in a moment, but Lovell pushing hard. 113. Gap growing. Okay, I'm going to come through.
Here's a teammate who has everything to prove.
I'll back off a little bit. I don't quite want to go 100 here. We're in Traville for the first cobbled sector. This is a good opportunity to try to lead through, but this is not my strong suit, so try to even just hang on is going to be a little moment of desperation. We've got to keep an eye on, there's the end, we can see the end, so somewhere just after this bridge I'm going to have to start pushing to try to get to the head of this group. Really giving it my all, but it's not going particularly deep. There you go, to the front, and that's one. We've got 1.5 gels, which is nice. We've got a 5-minute 40-second advantage, which is nice. I've got 6 guys that are all better riders than myself. Looking around this field, it's looking like it's going to be a challenge for me. I won't hang around too long, but we'll hang around as long as we can. We do have a feed zone coming up, so we'll have to keep that in mind to make sure we don't get dropped. Hang on when we need to hang on, lead when we can through these cobbled sectors. Either way, we're going to get at least 1 point just for finishing Paris-Roubaix today. 3-star sector, second sector of the day. Can't see the end to it, not quite sure how long is it. I'm guessing it's going to go on for a little while. It is Paris-Roubaix after all. 1,800 meters, there you go, up in the upper left corner. Which means we're got to be about halfway. Yeah, almost to the end here. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Push, 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 push. We'll get there, we'll get there, we'll get there. And we do get there. Oh, we got there first. Okay, sweet. That's 2. Again, I'm under no illusion that we can be competitive here. So getting what credit we can while we can be part of it. First 4-star sector, 3.5K. This is going to be a desperation moment. You can see the vibration is so much that my controller can't even handle it. This is also going to be a problem for me because I'm going to briefly lose contact with them. I knew that was going to happen. When you come back out of that, it always does that to you. And now we're off back, so this is a worry. This is how we are on the cobbles compared to everybody else. But we've been at the front for 2 cobbled sectors so far today. Was really hoping we could make it a bit further, but this is the only difficult cobbled sector for a while. So if we can recover and make it back to the group, push harder than them, make up that ground, then we've got a chance. McNulty has also been dropped. I'm 1 minute behind already. The peloton's already just 4.5 minutes behind overall. So for me, we've got our work cut out for us. We're only 3.5 minutes ahead, but we are out of it. Now pushing on. Again, I don't care about how much blue bar this is going to use up. This is going essentially full gas till we can regain contact. We got that feed zone coming anyway, so speaking of, let's go ahead and gel up.
With its 3,000 meters of cobblestone.
Can we get a little recovery here? No, not really. Alright. Both gels used. 3-star sector, 3K. And again, my pace is just not going to be adequate here. I did close the gap on them a little bit in between the 2 sectors there, but it grows as we go through here. So was my day literally just 2 cobbled sectors long, as you see the riders riding off without their bikes? Not losing too much ground through here, as it's only a 3-star sector. So if we can get a little break in between sectors, if we can get a 1 or 2-star sector, like, we can keep up a little bit easier. But look how much energy we used. Can I use that to get a little recovery? Technical sector, and here we go again. 2 stars again, using that energy up real fast. Minute 15. Is the push this time enough to close the gap? Yes, big difference between the 3 and 4-star sectors. So we are closing up on them. They're keeping a steady tempo, and we're just pushing essentially as hard as we could even manage. Very short sector. That would have been a great one to lead, but we are well out of reach of these guys. 1 minute behind, essentially where we were a couple sectors ago. Now closing in. How much of a break will we get? We've got this feed zone coming up, so that's going to be good because we're going to need it. We are going to use it all now. No point saving it for later. This is our entire race is getting back up to those guys and leading for one more sector or two more sectors, if possible. There's our gels. Okay, a little bit of red. Add all of the blue gel immediately. 46 seconds behind now. We have closed up the gap a bit. 5:07 to the peloton. They are further behind, which means their pace has picked up. Recovery was minimal. 40 seconds behind. If I use the rest of this gel, I can go a little bit faster. Like 1 kilometer an hour faster. And close up a little faster. 27 seconds. Little descent. Can I tuck? No, it's not steep enough. 23 seconds. Koos got dropped, but he got... Oh, no. Not Koos. McNulty.
Watch out. You're not going to be able to keep up this pace for very long. You risk a blow-up.
Yes, I risk a blow-up. This is all about getting back in there before the next cobbled sector so we have a chance to lead for one. But as low as I am, it looks like I might make the contact, but I'm going to be completely useless in just a moment once I do make that contact. 10 seconds.
If you continue with this race,
Oh, and we blow up right before making contact and before the cobbled sector. We went all in on regaining contact, as that was the only useful thing for us to do in this race, and we did not regain the contact. We literally came 2 bike lengths away and then blew up. Also, right about, even if we made that contact, we got that 2 more bike lengths, we were in trouble. We were in trouble because we were about to enter a 3-star cobbled sector that is 2.5 kilometers in length, and we had nothing. So we're right back out to a minute, and now without energy and without gels. So that's it, folks. Our day is run. Already Lopez and other riders have been dropped. They're down to 155 in the group. 6K over 3 sectors coming up back to back to back here in just a moment. For now, obviously, I'm falling away. Like I said, day done. We are 2 minutes back of the front 6, but we're still 3 minutes ahead of what is a shrinking peloton for now. So this is at least an opportunity to keep some distance over the peloton and finish a little bit higher up in the final standings than we would otherwise by having been in the breakaway today. But again, we are so low on energy already, and such a long ways to go till the next feed zone that, you know, it's really rather hopeless. You can see just how the time is ticking up really fast right now at 2.5 minutes down. So through these cobbled sectors, we are just terribly slow, which is why I was desperate to try to lead through as many sectors as possible. At least we did manage to get 2, so the day hasn't been a total failure. But I always knew that this was going to be the toughest race of the entire season for us in terms of just how poor we were going to end up being in the race itself. But with the peloton, keeping an eye on them, looking for them to shrink down in size, they are now just 2 minutes behind me instead of 3. I lost a whole minute through that sector. We've got 2 more in the back-to-back stretch here that could see us all the way back to the peloton here in a moment. But what I'm doing now is trying to actually recover just a little bit. In fact, I should do maybe a little bit more effort in that as we're going to be reeled in fairly soon. And there they are. Timo Rusin, Jumbo-Visma. There's Vanderpool right near the front. There's Case Bull, Johannesson, Sivikov, Cockard. Alright, so by the time we came out of those 3 back-to-back sectors, we end up in the peloton that is shrinking, by the way. Van Hoek and Lopez have both been dropped already, so our team is shrinking in size. Peloton now at 150 from what it was, so 10 riders were dropped, plus they then picked me up to make it 151. So that's 10 more out of the way, one of those being a second teammate. We're going to have a little break here. It's a good stretch for me, good chance to recover a bit before we Cavalier Wallers, 4-star sector. Really tough stuff for me. Really taking its toll. I'm pushing harder than I could or should to try to keep up a little bit and not be dropped completely from the group. 6 riders have already been dropped, and I'm dropping back pretty quick. Almost to the end of this thing. Still in the group. Still have some cushion to the back of the group. I'm watching my position, 93rd now. There's 146 in the group, so I'm safe down to like 150 something. So I definitely went backwards, but I do hang in there through that one. And now we're able to follow Stibar, Shortbacks, whoever, going forward. But big uptick to close the gaps as the road widens again. It's that much harder to do anything. And we're going to have to back off, otherwise we are going to blow up here in just a moment.
To the trench of Arenberg.
And Trench of Ehrenberg into the, and now I'm at the back of the group, out the back of the group before even reaching the beginning of the sector, as we expended everything just getting through the last sector. I knew I would have been dropped by this point. I figured I would have already been dropped prior. I didn't think we would have been dropped in the 3rd sector of the entire day. And not being able to regain contact. I'm not surprised I was dropped in the 3rd sector. I'm just surprised about how bad that dropping was. Just, you know, how far back we were by the end of it. You know, being a few seconds back is one thing, but
it's time to take stock of
5 stars.
and the forces still present to see who will put his
Under the
stamp on
famed
race.
bridge. Not getting the famed paved section. Well, no, wait, we are. There's the famed paved section where all the fans are. $87K to go, but Sivikov, Johannesson have both been dropped, and so we're down to 2 in the front group. Cockard, Case Bull, that's it. 2 guys that are better on flat. 2 guys that are okay-ish. Down to 60, but starting to look pretty weak. At the front, just the breakaway left. Down to 5 there, split up. But you can see Cockard and Bull are both struggling. Let's tell them to gel up. Will it help them hold on? Oh, Case Bull dropped a moment later. Van der Poel riding solo, 25 seconds ahead of Pedersen. Van Barle 43, Van Aert 102. Kung among 5 riders. Mohoric, Pollitt, Christoph, Asgreen, Trentin, Garcia Cortina, Laporte, Campenarts. That's your top 10 and then some. Van der Poel makes his way through that final cobbled sector looking like he could win, but he's been caught. Van Barle, Van Aert, Van der Poel, Pedersen all coming together into the final 4K. They're 50 seconds ahead of the chase group. There's no threat there. Van Barle has been dropped. Last 3 riders. The 2 favorites plus Pedersen, who would easily be picked as a 3rd favorite by many. And there's the finish. It's Wout Van Aert taking the weight ahead of Mads Pedersen and Mathieu Van der Poel. Van Barle keeps 4th, Asgreen 5th, Christoph, Kung, Mohoric, Pollitt, and Trentin. We've got no one in the top end of the standings at all. 39th, Case Bull was 40th at the finish line, as expected, unable to earn any points. I'm approaching that finish now as we head into the velodrome. Okay, what are we at? 1 lap? Not hearing a bell for us, but 500 meters. That's it. Coming around for the final. And we finish 160th. But I do finish ahead of Van Hoek. Lopez, both still out there as well. Not last on the team. I'll take that, especially after spending a big chunk of the day pushing in the breakaway. What we managed to do is get within 16 minutes of the front of the field. It's going to take us a lot of improved recruitment before we are going to be anywhere near the top 10 of Paris-Roubaix. And so a second straight race without collecting any points will see us fall to 12th In the standings, no surprise there, but it's still a better place than we were last season, and those weaker races are still options. We have to focus on those as our big opportunities to score points, and then just steal a few points here and there in some of these big races. But of course, the other big takeaway is that I continue to progress by getting simple participation of these. We get a flat point just for being, or just for finishing Paris-Roubaix. The team time trial, it's going to happen. Winning flat stages will eventually happen. Winning Primavera, we came really close. Stamina now up to a 77 for the same reason. Liège-Bastogne-Liège is coming up here in a moment, and we'll get another point for that. So better stamina will also help. 2 points for cobble rating, another big help. We have maxed out now the 1, 2, or 3 star sector lead out, though. Now it's just those 4 and 5 star sectors that I have to lead, and that is so hard to do the way this is set up. We need the cobble rating to win a 4 or 5 star sector. A 68 cobble rating isn't really enough. You saw how easily we were dropped the moment we hit a 4 star sector. We have a hard time just getting through a 3 star sector right now. 1 and 2, easy enough. 3, tough. 4, insane. 2 more cobble points, makes it a little easier. Maybe we can handle the 3 a little easier now, and maybe, just maybe, we can squeak out a 4. But hanging on to the group versus leading the group is a different story. We almost have to be solo before we enter it to have any chance. Maybe there's an approach to take in the future at some point. But winning a race with cobbled sectors, winning one of those like easy races with a little climb and a 1 star sector, winning that would be huge. That's a way to pick up those few points that will actually make us competitive in the 4 and 5 stars, not necessarily in Paris-Roubaix itself. I mean, we are not built for it. We are at most 8 more points. Our best we will ever see is a 76 for a cobble rating. It's the puncher's race, so that means I am going to be one of the leaders. I'm actually up to the 2nd highest overall rating on the team now, behind Sivakov. And this is definitely one of my stronger areas. So, 3 leaders today: Sivakov, Johannesson, myself. Cockard put into the break so that he can represent us, and he is contributing, so that's good. There are 6 riders already 3 minutes away. It was the first group to attack, so that worked out really well. That was 6 riders right near the front of the field, so that's a first in a long time that a breakaway was so easily able to establish itself. So if all else fails, if the breakaway goes on and takes win today, we're looking at probably a 6th place for Cockard, as he's not a very strong climber compared to the other guys around him. But if they have the kind of gap necessary, then yay, we've got somebody in the points. But then we've got 3 protecting 3 to really focus in on those 3, the 3 of us, to give us the best chance. But Liège-Bastogne-Liège is not easy. There's so much climbing involved here that could absolutely decimate the field on its way to the finish. We've still got 220k to go. It's a long one. Let's go ahead and speed things up until kind of the later phase where the undulation becomes constant, versus here where it's little rolling hills with the occasional proper climb. At the end, it's just nothing but constant up, down, up, down, up, down. And a lot steeper than what we're getting now. 100 kilometers to go. Entering that phase where things are going to just suddenly get a whole lot tougher. I want to spend as much time as possible keeping a balanced ride, not putting in overly too much effort, but trying to keep our position as best we can, conserve as much as possible. Tricky phase that we are entering here. The breakaway, still the 6 riders, but just 4.5 minute gap now. And already, at least with Cockard anyway, we're seeing that sign of fatigue starting to get into his legs. And so it begins. For now, not a big effort yet. We're going to keep an eye on the kilometers ticking by. And if we have any sudden increases, I'm going to let some of the 100 kilometers tick by a little bit faster, a little bit easier. You do get recoveries on the descents, but only so much because they're short. 3.6k, 5%. immediately into the next one. 5%. Right now, no problems with the effort. Just really have to monitor it as we speed up. 84K.
The gap seems to have stabilized.
340 is the gap. So it has come down. I'm taking it down by another 40 seconds, but here we go. Harder
Next
climb,
up on the menu is the
easier
Côte de la
position.
Haute-Levée.
Not bad through there. We're
3.6
okay.
kilometers on an average slope of 5.6%.
Field's starting to yo-yo a little bit. Hardest part of this climb
King of
is
the
right at the
mountain
beginning.
sprint in 2
Gotta
kilometers
ease off.
for the breakaway group.
3.6K, 5.6%. And after this next climb, it looks like we have our final feed zone of the day. So we're going to want to make sure that at the top of the climb, we want to use up those gels and get everybody fully refreshed. Even though they'll have a descent to recover some, probably won't recover all. Yeah, quick little hill. Vanderpool's among those that just attacked. So it was not just some mediocre talents. We're talking about some top of the line guys, and the peloton suddenly down to 66. Cockard's already been lost from the group. Make sure that there are contributing riders in the chase. There are. We might have to start committing some guys to chasing at some stage. But all of those attackers have been reeled in. Now it's just the front five. Vanderpool once again attacks. Okay, we're going to have Glug, gel up. They are back in contact for a fraction of a second. And my group has just split. There's a chase. It's back together. Okay. There's fan art. We'll get it. Oh, whoa, whoa. Why did we just come to a full stop? Wow. Full stop there for a moment. Somebody in front of me just slammed the brakes. And now you got the Jumbo Visma guys clear. Oh, they both did. Sivikov and Lopez got dropped. I'm one of just 8 riders now chasing, and we're back in contact at the front. So 26 riders. Johannesson is here. I am here. Why don't you come to protect me then? And I need to control what I'm going to do here. Okay, there's 12 ahead. I am currently 13th, and this is the final climb. Final gel. Let's get that red bar back, see if we can make contact with these guys. I am just 4 seconds. My teammate Johannesson's in that group right behind, so there's kind of a, hey, which do you want to do? There we go. Easing off just a little bit. Nope, let's not ease off a little bit. That was it. That's all we had left in the tank. Final climb, so close. Right now I am 12th on the road, right there with these guys. We will have a little descent. I might be able to get enough recovery on to at least finish and hold position somewhat. Kamna in between. You got Kort Nielsen and Johannesson in that group of 4, and I might actually regain contact here. Could it be? Could it be? Oh yes, yes it is. Wow, we have made contact.
Now it's downhill to the finish. The sprint looks inevitable.
Just trying to stay in the group. I will not be attacking this group at all. This is a little bit flat before we descend. 9K. 2 riders off front. Roglic has attacked. Others are attacking. But again, I think we've got every chance of getting a top 10 now. And getting some points today. 8K. I've got a little bit of energy now. Johannesson is still here. I'm following Carapaz. 6 riders at the front. We were in that chase group. Johannesson giving me a little protection, but not much. 4.7. I'm getting a little recovery, but Pogacar is pushing really hard, which is about to make me blow up. Following him is not great. Wow. Whoa, AI. Whoa, AI. Follow mechanic is not going so great. 3K. I've got some energy now from that descent. Still trying to follow Pogacar. We know he's a contender here. 2.5K. And it's bunched together. Top 17. Top 10 is not guaranteed. 2K. Johannesson right at the end of his 1.3K. 1K. Very little red bar. I cannot be going full gas here. Johannesson. I remembered. Not that he's got anything. He's already... Yeah, he's got nothing. 700 meters, though. I'm not going to make the 700 meters. We've really got to back off a little bit here. There's the blow up. Is it a top 10, though? I don't know. I think I was just outside the top 10, but probably close enough to be picking up points at least. Johannesson has also finished, so he was right there with me. That was better than expected. That was better than expected. Van der Poel has claimed victory ahead of Simon Yates, Pidcock, Hagita, Mohoric. I got 14th, right behind Van Aert, right behind Pogacar. That big push from Pogacar really took things out of me. Johannesson got 17th, 12 seconds down, last in the group. I was almost last in the group. I had almost pulled off a top 5, but we ran out of energy right before the end, and that saw us slip down. Close. Getting closer on trying to manage. It's so hard to be competitive against these particular riders because they are so much stronger than our usual competition, where we can really just attack them and go comfortably off to take victories. This is not that. These opponents are not that. They have a lot more quality, and I'm down to my last hurrah when we're reaching finishes, so trying to finish ahead of any of them is a challenge. We did manage to finish ahead of 3 this time. We'll get some points for that, I believe. We should have some. Yes, 35 points picked up just for me. Johannesson also has some points there. He is now second on the team with 62 overall. And while that only keeps us 12th place, it keeps us 12th place. We pick up 55 points as a team today. Again, not a great haul, but Groupama FDJ, Trek, Lotto Destiny, they didn't get anything. Movistar, Total Energy, some of them weren't even here at the race. So for us, maintaining a 12th place like that is good. Those 55 points brought us above Movistar, dropped behind EF. They had quite a few guys in that final group, so I'm happy with that. That was better than expected. Like I said, the big races, scraping by any amount of points is a win for us, because the weaker races, we know we can score. It's the better races that are just so insanely tough right now with the makeup of my rider and the makeup of the squad. And all these little successes are making me stronger bit by bit. Speaking of, I'm going to pick up 3 points. Finish Liège, Bastogne Liège. There's another point for hills. Certainly helpful. Also a point for stamina for finishing for resistance. So just participating in that race the first time, we get 3 overall attribute points, and that brings me up to a 77.7 overall, just 0.3 short of Sivakov. Now, Sivakov's not doing anything. Us as a team overall is not doing much of anything at all. But if we can finish somewhere right around 12th this year, we can get another Sivakov into the team. We can, make another upgrade, make us that little bit stronger for next year so that we can finish 10th, whatever the case may be. And all the while, I'm inching my way up. But being in some of these races is just making the difference right now. But then it's going to come down to actually doing something, like that cobble rating. We've got to start finishing at the head of 4-star sectors. That mountain rating, it's a 73, but I'm supposed to be finishing at the head of 4 or 5-star sectors. Really hard to do. A little bit of a hills rating and acceleration can help with that. Hanging on and having enough to compete with those guys at the top of a 4-star sector is the challenge that we've not been able to quite overcome yet. But the medium mountain, last I saw, I think was about a 72, 73 when we last competed on some proper mountain stages. So maybe, just maybe. Plus, we didn't have guys like Sivakov to help support. It's just hard to lead at the top of those climbs unless you're in the breakaway, and it's hard to be in the breakaway unless you're solo. Slippery slope stuff here, but we are at a 63% overall of accomplishing the maximum rating that our rider can get, so we're getting there. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.